Hi and welcome here to frontoniostudio.com with another tutorial on how to set up a guitar player in Flash CS3 or CS4. And let me show you what I'm going to show you today. This is just a basic setup on how to set up this type of application. It's a pretty simple interface. I got a guitar neck, I got some music sheets, and I got a play button and a stop button. If I press the play button, it will start playing, of course. I don't know if you can hear it. And on the guitar neck you can see the notes actually being played. And then down here on your tabula is, the position of your fingers. And when I press stop, it stops right at a point in the timeline. And when I press play, it will resume from that point onwards. So anyway, let's go inside of it and see how this has been set up. Okay, first of all, in the Flash file, or in the Flash file, I have all these layers here. One is called the music, and that's where the sound is. I got the music sheets, which is practically the music sheets down here. I got the bars and notes. The bars and notes are this tiny red bar here, which is just a small rectangle put with a transparency. Then I got the guitar neck, which is the top part here. The guitar neck I designed this one in Photoshop. Then I have another layer for the notes. That is where when the bar moves across the sheet here, and when it comes across these notes here, then it will show the note which need to be played on the guitar neck and the position. Finally, I got another one for the buttons, and which are the play and the stop button here, and an action script. Now in the action script there's only a couple of functions for the buttons to start play and stop play, as you can see here. So we start off with the a stop command. Then we define the sound, which is the Guitar2 sound, that is the actual MP3. Then that has been given a linkage as a Guitar2 sound. Then the two button event listener, the play sound, which will start to play and stop start to play the sound and stop the sound. So the play sound event function, it will start and play from the current frame, and it will resume the sound. It will not stop it. It will not play it, because if you put the play in here instead of stop, then it will start again from the beginning. So by putting the resume in there, it will start playing wherever you are in your timeline. And then of course the stop sound function, practically that will stop from the current frame wherever you are in your timeline, and it will stop the sound at that point. So that's all the action script to this. Pretty simple. Now this is not very to set something up like that, you need to have a pretty good knowledge of music. For example, the sound here, excuse me, the Guitar2 MP3 here, which I imported, that one I made this one in sound booth by recording me playing the guitar in two phases. First I played the rhythm, and then I played the actual solo piece. Then I put them on a multi-track and I combined them. And then I took note where the bars are finishing and where the actual solo starts to play. Then in the then I did the okay, here, like in my assets library, here in the library, I got my guitar neck, I got my 4 sheets of music, which they are PNG files, but they could be also JPG file, it doesn't really matter. And then I set up the notes, the fret notes symbol, so that I got all the notes which are used to play the tune of this particular song here, which is Guitar Tango from the Shadows. I don't know how many people remember still the Shadows, but anyway, I'm a pretty old, so but I still liked them back then, and I still do now. And then practically I just have this generic button here, which are the 2 buttons which I set up to play and to stop the sound. Okay, that is how this has been set up. And now to actually put the keys into the right place, that is a tedious way in Flash to do, since it take a lot of time. So what I did is, back in Sound Booth, I put a note where on what seconds in the timeline it started a particular sound, and I made notes on that one, and you can see it here on, I don't know if you can probably see it here, but if you look here next to your FPS, you have a 7.7 seconds. That is where I had to put the first key, the first note, which is the D sharp here, which you can see my bar is right over there. And then since that one is a repetition of 4 times, then I have in each of these keyframes here, I moved my bar down, but left the actual note here visible, and so on. And all these timings, that I all took them out from my sound booth, so that when I set them up in Flash, I might be off a point of 2, but then when you replay the sound, you can see exactly if it starts on the proper timing or not, and you always can move. Then you just need to double click the keyframe here and move it maybe one frame forward or 1 frame back, depending. And practically, so that's all what has been done. Like I said, it's a tedious way of doing it, but I found out it is also fun. I mean, there's so many other actions, there's so many other things you can do with this. Also, you can program different buttons to go and play certain notes and whatsoever. I don't think it could be done with an XML file. It might be, I'm not sure, but I leave it up to you to do whatever you want to do. And you know, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this one. It's maybe not one of my best tutorials I made, but I thought it would be good to let people know how you could do this kind of applications. And also you could do this kind of application with you could make a fully fledged application using maybe Air. So, you know, much more programming involved and whatsoever, but it'll be tedious. It took me about almost 2 days to make this, because I have to take down all the timing and whatsoever, and I had to replay it, because sometimes, you know, I'm a little bit rusty in playing the guitar now. I haven't played for a while, and so it took me a while to make the recording or whatsoever. And the guitar sheets, actually, that is from a PDF file, which I extracted. And I extracted the PDF file, and I put them in, and I converted them to PG files in Photoshop. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.